Hello and welcome to another episode of Geared Toward Gear. My name's Sean and I'm so glad you're here, as always. Today we're talking about another flashlight, and this one is very, very cool. This thing is adorable, and I don't use that word lightly. I truly do mean this thing is adorable. It's capable, but it is just so freaking cute, I can't even tell you. So this is, as you can see, the Folomov EDC C2 flashlight. So let's rewind just a little bit. A month ago, 2 months ago, I'm not sure exactly when, I bought this light here, the Folomov EDC C1. I bought it from a website called Illum.com. Once I learned about it, thought it looked like a cool light. So I went online, I bought it. It was this light right here. I did a review on it, raved about it, love it. I've actually bought two of these for friends of mine and sent them to those friends, and they've loved them quite a bit as well. So I just really enjoyed the light. So after that video, somebody from the company, a friend of mine named Jason, reached out to me and said, hey, we've got a new light coming out called the EDC C2. Would you like to take a look at it? So he sent this to me. I did not pay for it, and he is hooking it up with a discount code for everybody watching. So there will be a discount code, so stay tuned so you can learn how you can get this at a discount. And I'm telling you guys, this thing is so freaking cute. I can't even tell you, but still capable. So it's the EDC C2. It looks very different than the EDC C1, so it's not going to be a brass flashlight. You can probably see from the thumbnail that it does look quite different. So without further ado, let's get into the tin here. And I do like that they come in these tins because it's something you can reuse as opposed to just a cardboard box. So in the tin, you're going to get your user's manual, which is actually a really easy to follow, well laid out user manual. Some of the user manuals I see from these Chinese companies are just, you don't even know what the hell you're reading. So they did a good job on the user manual. You get a spare set of O-rings, so 2 additional O-rings. You get a USB charging cable. So there is some USB charging capability involved here, which we will definitely talk about. And then you get the light. And you guys, this light, oh my gosh, it's so cute. It's tiny. And when I say it's tiny, I'm going to give you some comparisons. This thing is so small. It is very capable, but it is so small. You can see it compared to my pinky. It's just a tiny light. So let me bring in an O-Light. And this is the O-Light S1R Baton 2. Currently the smallest light of this style that O-Light makes. And when you compare the two, you can see, let me put them this way, how much smaller the Folomov is. And they're kind of wanting to stick together because of the magnetic bases, which we'll talk about. But the size difference is notable. I mean, very noticeable. This thing is just tiny. The dimensions specifically, as far as length, is 2 1/8 of an inch in length. The width at its widest point is 3/4 of an inch, and it weighs 1 ounce. So here is a AA size battery for comparison. So it's not much longer than a AA battery. Just a really small light, way smaller than I thought it would be. So let me give you some basic info on this. Then we'll get into kind of how it works and things like that. So how much are you going to pay for this? It's $35 is the standard, what you'd pay on Amazon.com. But again, you're not going to pay that because I'll give you a discount code for 20% off, which I think makes it something like $27. And I'm not giving the discount code. Jason, my friend from Folomov, is. And I didn't ask for it. He just said, here's a code for your subscribers. So I appreciated that. As I mentioned before, I don't just want a free flashlight to review. I want to be able to give something back to you guys. So I was very appreciative that he unsolicited just said, here's a discount code. So stay tuned for that. So 35 bucks, 400 lumens. It has a color rendering index of 98. And as I mentioned, if you watch my video on the EDC C1, what that means is that when you shine this light on something, you're really going to see the true color of whatever you're shining it on, because the temperature or the tint of this light is pretty low on the spectrum. So it's a 3000K light, 3000 Kelvin. It's IPX8 rated, so you get 1 meter of drop safety and 2 meters of submersion, which is phenomenal, again, for a light this size. The base is magnetic, so You can see that there. It will stick to metal, which is good. You know, I think magnetic bases on lights can definitely come in handy. For me personally, I don't see a huge reason why not to have it. Some people don't like them, and that's fine if that's your preference, but this one is magnetic, so just be aware of that. Let's talk about the battery. And this is kind of where it's really cool. And for some of you, you may think this is a negative, but it's really cool. So this is kind of a new battery that I had never heard of, and I'm pretty sure is proprietary to Folomov, that they kind of invented for this light, and it's called a 14300. So let me compare that to a couple other common battery sizes. So here's the 14300 that Folomov uses, and this comes with the light, and it is USB rechargeable, right? So you plug that cable that comes with the light into the battery, and you can charge the battery that way. So it is rechargeable, which is nice. Here is a CR123 size battery. So you can see the size difference there. It's shorter, it's smaller in diameter. And then here it is up against a AA size battery. So it's like 3/5 the length of a AA, but the same diameter. So a very unique size. The one downside, or potential downside, is that it's a proprietary battery. Having said that, I did reach out to them and say, hey, are you going to offer these? Like, are you going to sell these batteries separately? And they said they are planning on doing that, and that you will be able to buy these separately on Amazon, the 14300 size battery. So that is how they were able to make this thing so small as they created. As I drop the light, good thing it's IPX8 rated for dropping. That's how they were able to make this so small, right? Is this proprietary battery, which I think is pretty cool that they went to the lengths to engineer a battery just to make a light in the form factor that they wanted to. And I think it's a crazy, small, awesome size. Put it in the fifth pocket of your pants. Put it in a emergency, survival tin or something like that, which I guess you could use the tin that it comes with. But I think the battery's cool. I think the size is fantastic, and I'm just digging it quite a bit. So let's talk about output modes, things like that. So we're looking at a Nichia brand LED, and that's called the E21A. So this is what's going to give us that nice, warm 3000K temperature, which is just super easy on the eyes, and I'm really starting to like these warmer temperatures. It may not pick up on camera as well with the lighting I currently have, but I will show you some kind of beam shots in the dark, comparing it to other lights where you can see the difference. So how does this light operate? Well, here's the cool thing. It operates exactly the same way as the EDC C1. So I really like it when companies take the user interface from one light and just put it on the other light. It makes it so much easier for us as a consumer to remember. So I do like that a lot. If you have a C1, and if you don't, you should. This is one of my favorite AAA size lights. It's just really, really well made. I love this thing. And it functions the same way as the C2. So it's got 5 modes: moonlight, low, medium, high, and turbo. So let's talk about runtimes and output, and then I'll show you how it actually works. So on moonlight, you're going to get 1/2 of a lumen for 20 hours. On low, you're going to get 10 lumens for 5 hours. On medium, you're going to get 50 lumens for 1.5 hours. On high, 160 lumens for 0.5 hours or a half an hour. And on turbo, you're going to get 400 lumens for 25 minutes. It has 2 separate kind of operating modes, just like the smaller EDC C1. It has the illumination mode and the tactical mode. It's going to come default in illumination mode. So how that works is you've got a side switch here. That is how all the operation happens, is with that side switch. You press it and hold it to get to moonlight. So just press and hold, and you're going to get your moonlight, which you can hardly even see because it's a half a lumen. You're going to get this green light that's going to turn on the actual button itself, and that's going to stay on as long as the light is on. This is not a battery level indicator. It is more for just being able to keep track of the light if you happen to drop it. So that light is going to stay on. So long press and you are in moonlight. One more press, you're going to go up to low, and low is going to be 10 lumens. One more press, we're at medium. One more, we're at high. Whoops, messed that up. Okay, so this has memory, and that was my mistake. So let me get it to low. Okay, so there's low, 10 lumens, medium, 50 lumens, high, 160 lumens, and then it's going to go back to low. So it only cycles through low, medium, high, low, medium, high, low, medium, high, right? To get to moonlight, from the off position, you have to press and hold. And to get to turbo, from any setting, whether it's off or on, double click, and you're straight to turbo, 400 lumens, okay? So one more time, press and hold to turn it on, moonlight. Press it one more time, it's gonna go back to your most recent used mode, and then it's just gonna cycle through low, medium, high. Just those 3 settings. If you want turbo, double click, and you got your full 400. So that is illumination mode. From turbo, if you're on turbo, again, double click to get to turbo. Once you're there, if you double click again, you're going to get strobe. One more double click, you're going to get SOS. And one more double click, and you're going to get a beacon mode, which is pretty cool. The beacon mode just kind of ramps up and ramps back down. I showed it on the EDC C1 video. That's the beacon mode. So it's cool that once you're in turbo, you can double click to get to your strobe, your SOS, and your beacon. And then just click it again. It's going to go back to your most stored memory, and long press it to turn it off. So that's your illumination mode. Now, this does have a lockout feature. So if you want to lock it out so you don't inadvertently turn it on, all you have to do is from the off position, press 3 times real quickly. 1, 2, 3. You're going to get a couple flashes, and now we're locked out. So if I press this button, nothing's happening. It is locked out. To unlock it, same thing, 3 quick clicks, 1, 2, 3. We're gonna get another flash, and now we're good to go, and we're back to illumination mode, fully operational. All right, so now there's also a tactical mode. To get to tactical mode, you're gonna click the side switch 7 times quickly. So let's see if we can count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're gonna get some flashes. Now we are in tactical mode. Tactical mode is, for me, not quite as useful, but the way it works is 1 click on, 1 click off, and you only get turbo. That's your only setting on tactical mode. So press the button 1 time, it's on, press it again, it's off. If you press and hold, it's momentary. So you get a momentary feature, which is kind of neat. And then same thing, just like, you know, with any other mode or setting, if you double click, you're going to get strobe when you're in tactical mode. So again, 1 click on, 1 click off for turbo, momentary for turbo, double click for strobe, and that is your tactical mode. To get back to illumination mode, 7 fast clicks again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get a few flashes, and now we're back to our standard illumination mode. So that is the user interface. It may seem complicated, but it's really not once you get the hang of it. You're really just looking at, for me anyway, I'm not really using the tactical mode. I'm going to press and hold it to turn it on. I'm going to get my moonlight, and then I'm going to cycle through my brightness levels and get to the one that I want. I mean, it's really kind of that simple. It does have a low voltage kind of indicator. It's not going to be the light, but once you lose your turbo mode, once you can no longer access it, it means it's time to recharge your battery. That's kind of your low voltage indicator. So if you turn it on and you double click to get to turbo and you don't get turbo, it means you need to recharge the battery using that included USB cable. So that is the low voltage warning. So that's kind of the basic user interface. Again, I know it can sound a little complicated, but it really is not once you get the hang of it. And I just, again, the size being as small as it is, I mean, it's freaking cute. I mean, there's no other way to say it. It's just an adorable light, but it is very much functional, very capable, it's packed full of features. I mean, you guys saw all the different modes, the 5 brightness levels, the SOS, the strobe, the beacon, the tactical mode, the momentary, the lockout, all of that stuff packed into a light this freaking tiny. I just think it's freaking cool. It's just a very cool light. It's innovative in that no one's ever done a light quite in this size with this battery type. The only negatives that I could say about this, as it stands currently, is the battery is proprietary. So once they start selling the batteries separately, that'll be a big win to be able to have extras on hand, because once this does die, If it's your only light and it dies, the only way to charge it is to take the battery out, find a USB charging source, and wait for it to recharge. I will say it does not take long to charge because it's a pretty small battery with a pretty low milliamp hour rating, but that is the EDC C2 from Folomov. Again, it comes with the USB charging cable, the tin there, and then some extra O-rings. And if you look in the description of this video, there's going to be a link to their Amazon store. If you click the link, it's automatically going to take you to the 20% off code. I think it automatically puts it in your shopping cart. You'll be able to see the discount, and then you can decide if you want to purchase it or not. But that is the Folomov EDC C2. I'm really digging what they're doing at Folomov. Again, having just really loved the C1, I think this is a good follow-up to that. I like the magnet. I like the color temperature. So let's head outside real quick, briefly, and show you the nice warm color that this produces compared to a cooler temperature light, just so you can see the difference. And we'll go ahead and end the video once we're outside. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, Folomov and Jason, for sending the light, and even more so for providing the discount code to the viewers. So stand by, guys, and I'll meet you outside. All right, welcome back to the backyard, or in this case, the porch. Just real quick, I want to show you the difference in the color temperature, right? So on the left side, we have a light from Ace Beam. It's a very cool temperature. It's 6500K. And on the right, we have the EDC C2 that we just looked at. So it's that nice warm kind of yellowish orangey color, which again is really, really easy on the eyes and just produces really good color rendering. So I do like the warmer temperature on the C2. These kind of brighter white, cooler temperatures definitely have their place. I have several of them, and they're great for a lot of things, but I just want to point out the difference in the colors so you can see that kind of up close. Now we'll do some beam shots so you can see how bright it is, and that'll be it. So stand by and we'll do some beam shots. All right, here we are in the garage once again. It is pitch black in here. I will turn off the light so you can see it's pitch dark. I'm going to do some outside beam shots. They're probably not going to appear quite as bright as the light actually is the EDC C2, of course. And I am realizing now that I'm filming this that the light on the side actually does change color when your battery's getting low. So I've been using this for probably 4 days now, and it's starting to get low, so that does turn red. I think I mentioned in the video that it's not a low battery indicator, but it appears as though that it is. So let me go ahead and bump it up to turbo and just see kind of what kind of light this puts out in a pitch dark garage. I can clearly, just perfectly clearly see everything. Obviously 400 lumens is plenty of light. It appears cooler and kind of whiter in color than it really is, and I think you'll notice the same thing outside as well. But again, moving around a vehicle or a garage or just your house at night, this is going to put out more than enough light to do what you need to do for most EDC tasks. So that is the Folomov EDC C2 on full turbo at 400 lumens. So let's head outside real quick, get a couple more beam shots, and that'll be it. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, we are back, and we're looking at a tree. I can't go in the yard because it poured rain today, but that tree is about 30 feet away. We're on turbo right now with the EDC C2. And you can see, 400 lumens is plenty for most EDC use, right? Around the house, around the vehicle, in the vehicle, things like that. There's a shed back in the back, which you can see. It will reach out that far and show us the shed there. So that's the basic beam pattern on the EDC C2. It's hard to compare this to really any other light that I have because just the size. So just keep that in mind. It's so tiny. I don't expect this to throw out some massive beam, but it just does really have a pleasant color to it, and certainly bright enough for most EDC tasks. It's not going to blow you away with its brightness, but that's not really, I don't think, the intent with a light like this. So that is the EDC C2 from Folomov. Thank you all so much for watching, and again, don't forget to check the description for a discount code, 20% off. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.